Hi, guys. People like to hear me rant, so let me rant about something here. Everybody teaches fucking pistols wrong. Pistol shooting for self defense is fighting with a deadly force tool. It is fighting. Fighting, I am a subject matter expert. Okay? I know how to teach people how to fight. Fighting with a handgun is fighting with a handgun in your hands. It is a deadly force tool fight. So, if any of you fucking trainers out there with your little NRA certificates even mention fucking rear sights, if you draw another picture on the board of putting the front sight in the rear post, equal height, equal light, you're a fucking dumbass. What the fuck does rifle shooting have to do with defensive pistol shooting? What the F does how to align iron sights like you would teach on a rifle have to do with a handgun or a hands gun fight at typical 15 yards and in self-defense distances, especially teaching that first before everything else that sets the foundation and is important? I am a subject matter expert on all things martial arts. I have 4 highly coveted black belts, fought MMA professionally, have the highest rated self-defense instructional on BJJ Fanatics, Combatives, and Street Jiu-Jitsu. I understand a lot about systema and biomechanics. I've gone through at least 3 weeks of professional handgun training at different places. If you don't teach stance first and natural body alignment first, what the F are you putting a front post and a rear post on a fucking board for? That's why I don't want to get a certificate to teach from fucking people that I can outshoot 1,000 times, and I am nowhere near a fucking grandmaster. But I know how to teach people how to fight with a gun in their hand. Okay, with a handgun. A pistol, you align, you orient to the deadly threat, you pull trigger. So, kind of just thinking about my point shooting videos after Ask's horrible video calling point shooting a myth. I teach people to get in a good, wide, forward-facing stance. 2.5 to 3 feet, 2.5 to 3 feet, belly button forward. I know where my spine is. I know where my chin is. I know where my nose is. As a little child, I used to know how to point and say, give me that. We know how to point. How about we teach people, let's have balance and point towards the fucking target? I don't know. That might be a good place to start first. Instead of leaning back and worrying about, oh, I'm going to line these up, and then, no, right about now, and yank the trigger. What good does lining up fucking sights have to do if you don't have a stable platform first? You don't have natural pointing body alignment first, and then grip. Because lining up and then, about now, yank, what did you teach them? Oh, man, but I was aiming real good. And I don't even want to get certified for these stupid friggin' people that first things we're going to teach them on a board. We're not shooting Ruger 1022s in the 1950s. If you're teaching someone pistol shooting, self-defense skills with a handgun, stop teaching it like it's rifle. I'm not saying you can't, add that in after they have balance in a stance and then grip. So they understand natural, I orient towards the threat, I point towards the threat, I press out or present towards the threat. I mean, the kind of thinks like maybe we should start with that. Being in balance, not leaning back, all the BS that new shooters do. And you're going to say, line them up when they're leaning back and then they go yank. How about you get them in balance first? forward-facing, good fighting stance because it's fighting with a handgun. Once you know that, and you can repeat, okay, I draw my primary leg back on a diagonal 45-degree Yonjun Go, and I bend my front knee a little bit, and I get in a good forward aggressive stance because mentality is very important. And recoil control, because a lot of people are going to be, when they do that, right? So how about we teach stance and natural point alignment first? Because you might only rely on that. Yes, active self-protection. Oh my God. Not my counter ambush. I only train with my hand under my polo, standing still when delivering. Because you watch your videos. That's not how everything goes down. Sometimes it goes down when they're dealing with the clerk, and this guy can go do, 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 do. And you don't even teach how to look away, look peripheral, and then go. Like I do. But what about when you're mugged in the transitional spaces in Walmart parking lot, right? And yes, that might be point shooting, which kind of is important if we learn how to orient our body, our spine, our belly button, our chin. We know where everything is to the target, whether sights are used or not. So what the fuck does a rear sight have to do at a typical 2 to 7 yard, maybe 15 yard, but especially those first couple of shots? What does a rear sight have to do with anything? How about we focus on the bad guy and superimpose the front sight over it and stay target focused, just like all you guys do with a red dot? Maybe that's a good idea. After we taught stance and grip. This would be better. I'll have to remake this video with the pistol in my hand. People might come and go, so I shouldn't do that right now. But a grip. A primary high grip. Hopefully you know how to grip a pistol. High up in the beaver tail. And your other hand gonna karate chop that trigger guard, roll that thumb forward, and point your thumb towards the bad guy. Because oh my God, I'm in a gunfight, 5-yard gunfights, pointing thumb at bad guy makes bullets go there. It's that friggin' simple. And some of you watching this are still taking your wives or thinking you know what's up with your little NRA certificates, and you're going to draw on a board and no. Equal height, equal light, squeeze the trigger, don't yank it. When they don't have a fucking stance. They're not in balance. They're not even oriented. You will say all of that while someone's standing sideways with their back foot behind their front foot, sideways, leaning back, or women like this with their halter tops and breasts about a cause in ND. Hate seeing people on the range. Or I'm thinking of a woman last year, and he hands her a VP9. She's never shot a pistol before. Didn't teach her stance. Didn't teach her grip. And, a VP9 or a PPQ trigger, she's lucky she didn't double tap into her face. Okay? So how about we teach stance, orientation, orient to the bad guy, being a good base, as any fighting. I don't care if it's boxing, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, all the things I am a subject matter expert on. Be in a good base, orient, be in a good base, and have a good grip before we ever talk about sights. And how about we just maybe kind of worry about that front sight? And maybe even then we kind of worry more about the bad guy. And maybe we just say, try to hold everything steady, have a good grip, a good strong grip, and superimpose that front sight on the guy's chest. If we're talking defensive pistol shooting. Because if you're talking rears, you're not talking defensive pistol shooting. And guess what? That's why guys buy pistols now. I'm not talking if you're teaching NRA bullseye shooting with your K38 pre-15 masterpiece, like AF, like Jared AF. Okay, that's different. You're using rifle mechanics on a pistol, a shorter platform. That has not a lot to do with defensive pistol. Now, someone's getting better. They get everything else down. Now can we add in, you're shooting a little low, you're shooting a little high. Maybe you want to kind of barely reference the rear sight, unless we're making headshots past 12 yards. If you do everything else right, you can kind of point shoot or flashlight picture if you want to use that term. Because I'm doing everything else right first. So what the F are you talking about rear sights? Take the goddamn rears off your pistols. Like, oh, I like them if I have to make a specific headshot past 12 yards. Oh, okay. But that's not most of what goes down. That's not most of civilian defensive gun use. And so everyone just teaches it so wrong. Everyone's so stupid. And the drawing the thing on the board, like, oh no, it's a little over here. And they draw a Glock bucket. Okay. Oh, it's over here. Over there. Oh my God, no. And I got it. Yank. Stable platform. Good grip. Don't move the grip. Keep it pointed where it's pointed. And take up the slack or whatever you're going to teach. And then squeeze. Don't yank the trigger. Okay. While you exhale. Like Roy Harrell teaching that girl. The first time she hit good was when the first time she didn't hold her breath, which creates tension in the shoulders and necks. The first time you can hear her on video go, that's the first time she hit. Okay, watch the video. That's a typical experience with a new person. How about we teach stance first? And yeah, there are different ways of skinning a cat. Kinda. But if you just want to teach like recruits good, like, I don't know, in professional contract security, law enforcement, federal government type work, or SWAT school, let's reestablish everyone on base, balance, exhaling, things that are important first, and then grip. And if everyone taught the grip the right way, with a thumb pointed towards the bad guy, you're going to make, they don't got to even worry about sights. Put them at 3 yards, 5 yards, and support hand thumb, high grip, oriented, and they're going to hit the target. And then they feel good about the experience instead. But I thought I had the sights all lined up and yank, and they don't comprehend it. Because you didn't give them a foundation of balance and base first and then grip. Now, if you have a disability like Gun Sam and he wants to shoot at 75 yards because he is rheumatoid arthritis, so he can't really put grip pressure with his support hand, so he just uses a revolver grip for everything because he always liked revolvers better. Hey man, he's making hits at 75 yards. Fine. But if I'm teaching 20 people in a class, let's stop with this rear sight bullshit. And it's slowing you all down. Because if you're not nearly as fast as me, and I'm not the fastest guy in the world, it's slowing you down going, oh, reconfirm. That's what your eyes are doing. Oh, front sight picture, Jeff Cooper, front sight, not target focused, front sight. You're going rears, front, reconfirm, squeeze the trigger. You just added 0.40 seconds to breaking the shot. Okay. That is how the eyes work in the focal plane. That's why some people like red dots better. You just target focus and put it there. We can do it with the front sight too. And so if you're having problems with that, let me recommend you, best sights really, get minimalist night sights from excess sights, or if you're really older and you're starting to lose your vision, get a big dot. If you were only going to teach a beginner, or you got that wife that's only going to shoot twice a year, for her defensive pistol, fuck the rears. Has nothing to do with anything. The big dot would be better for most people that only shoot once or twice a year. I put the big dot on their chest, I pull the trigger. Cool. Keep KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. You want a little more precision than that, though they're not necessarily that inaccurate. I have videos showing you can still do pretty good. Get a minimalist, a bright orange or bright green front night sight, whatever you prefer, that grabs your eye's attention with black serrated rears. That way you're not spending time and you can look at good shooters, but they're kind of slow. It's because they're reconfirming rears because they were taught this old NRA bullshit like you're how to shoot a 10-22 but in a pistol form. Stop focusing on the rears. Focus on base, balance, stance, orientation, knowing where I'm pointed. Grip. It's going to help a lot of you out if you actually chop in support hand, thumb towards target. When thumb is in line, oh my God, it's kind of like the thumb is in line with the bore, and that's where the bullets go. Eureka, okay? If you're talking defensive fighting pistol, that's what you do because it will always be there anytime you get your support hand there. whether you got time to use the sights or not, whether it's at night and there's no light, whether you got nods on and they just got knocked off your, whatever, boom, 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 okay? Like, it's fucking simple, right? So stop being the idiots telling your girlfriends, like, your first time at the range, when you haven't taught them anything about even kind of a stance and balance and grip, and then probably like exhaling, not holding tension in their body as they squeeze. Now yank the trigger. Now we're going to teach this first and align the sights, and then while you're leaning back, because that's what all new shooters do. And so they can't handle the recoil if they're leaning back off balance and barely standing. Clumsy as hell. You guys don't know anything about kinesthetic awareness, okay? About spatial intelligence, about kinesiology, about kinetic cohesion. And it shows. And it shows a lot of you trainers out there. It shows. All you can do is stand still. You can't point. You're not athletic. You're not in a good stance. It shows. You couldn't fight to save your fucking life. You could not win a fist fight. Pistol shooting, if we're not talking competition long distance shooting, for most people, defensive pistol, CCW, it's a fight. So teach someone how to fight. Get my Combatives Street Jiu-Jitsu DVD on BJJ Fanatics. There's my rant of the day, because God dang is it bugging me. And you're just teaching everything in the wrong order. Base, stance, fighting, orientation, grip. Grip. Because if I have grip and no sights, I could probably yank the damn trigger. And it doesn't matter because I have a strong base support structure, bone structure behind it. And now I can yank with no sights on the pistol. And I can yank the trigger even. Is it here instead of here? Well, for defensive pistol within 10 yards, it's not the biggest thing quite yet. And then you go, okay, well, now I isolate and have better trigger control, and I still don't have sights on the pistol. That's fine. I'm focusing on the front sight. That's fine. So get access big dot. Actually, I didn't use my name, Dan the Wolfman, on their first order to save some money. I didn't know I was going to go into that. But really, a bright night sight on the front, and I've had to draw my pistol quite a few times in various circumstances where that definitely came in handy, like a guy grabbing a long gun out of his truck trespassing. Also, another time in the back of the vehicle. I don't want to be having to focus on all this when I have to focus on, does he have his weapon in his hand? Is it a deadly force threat right now? Do I need to shoot? You need to focus on that. And so just having like a front night sight on the guy's chest is what you need. You don't need to be looking at the rears. You're not going to be looking at the rears. So don't teach beginners to look at the rears until they already have everything else. And then you want to go, hey, let's shoot at 15 or 20 yards. When they're ready for that and they have everything else. So baby steps, okay? Teach it in the right order. But you're really focusing on the wrong damn thing. Threat, orient, on chest, pull trigger. Fucking simple. So start training the right way. It would help you. Get Combatives Street Jiu-Jitsu on BJJ Fanatics. I really know about this, and I know about kinesthetic body movements and natural movements and exhaling and lack of tension and stemming, all those things. That's what you should be doing. With a strong grip, do some damn push-ups. Y'all suck, and all the fucking instructors suck. Kaboom.